Okay, today we are going to be discussing another method of solving systems of linear equations by substitution. So write down your goal for today in your interactive notebook. By the end of class today, you should be able to solve systems of linear equations by substitution. Now, we call it substitution because we are replacing something with something of equal value. So we can relate it to a substitute teacher. When a teacher has to be out, we substitute that teacher with another teacher. And in basketball, when a player gets tired or needs to be replaced, we call that a sub. A sub comes in and takes that player's place, and it's supposed to be a player of equal value. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go through the lesson. Right now, I'm just going to outline steps 1 through 3 in solving a system of linear equations by substitution. So we've already discussed how a system is two equations together. Step 1 is to solve one of the equations for one of the variables, whether it's x or y. Doesn't matter which one you solve for. Step 2 is to substitute the expression from step 1 into the other equation and solve for the other variable. And this will all make sense in a moment. And step 3 is to substitute the value from step 2 into one of the original equations and solve. So this is the system that we are going to be working with. Y equals 2x minus 4 and 7x minus 2y equals 5. Step 1 says to solve one of the equations for one of the variables. And equation 1 is already solved for y. So we're just going to use that equation to do the substitution. So because y is equal to 2x minus 4, we're going to take that 2x minus 4 and substitute it into equation 2 for y. So we would have 7x minus 2 times 2x minus 4 equals 5. Just like this. So you could see there in the pink, we took what y is equal to, 2x minus 4, and replaced it and inserted it where y was before. Now because those 2's are hugging each other, that means that we're going to distribute that negative 2 to the 2x and to the negative 4. So we get 7x minus 4x because negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, plus 8 because negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8 equals 5. And then we are left with 3x because 7x minus 4x is 3x plus 8 equals 5. Make sure you take down all of these steps in your interactive notebook. And finally, 3x equals negative 3, which is equal to x equals negative 1. Step 3 states to substitute the value from step 2 into one of the original equations and solve. So now we found x. And lastly, we need to find y. So we're going to take x and substitute it into one of the original equations, and that will give us y. So to keep it simple, we'll just keep with the first equation, y equals 2x minus 4, and we're going to replace the x with negative 1. And that's what you see there in pink. And 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 minus 4, which is equal to negative 6. So our solution is negative 1, negative 6. And if we wanted to check our solution, we can plug negative 1 and negative 6 back into both equations just to make sure, or we could graph them and see that these equations do in fact intersect at negative 1, negative 6. Now let's take a look at a real world example, okay? You buy 50 turkey and veggie burgers for $90, okay? Turkey burgers are $2 each, and veggie burgers are $1.50 each. We need to figure out, by writing and solving a system of linear equations, the number x of turkey burgers. We're going to use x as the variable for turkey burgers, and the number y of veggie burgers we bought. So we're going to have two linear equations. We're going to take the number of turkey burgers, as I just said, which is x, add it to the number of turkey burgers, y, that's supposed to say veggie burgers, equals total number of burgers. And our second linear equation is going to be the cost per turkey burger times the number of turkey burgers plus the cost per veggie burger times the number of veggie burgers, y. And that will give us our total cost. So our first equation is just going to be x plus y equals 50. The number of turkey burgers plus the number of veggie burgers equals 50. 50 were bought in all. Our second equation is going to be 2x because turkey burgers are $2 plus 1.5 or 1 5/10 times y, which is the cost of the veggie burgers, equals 90, which is how much we spent in all. So you can see that the first equation is the number of burgers and the second equation is the cost of the burgers. And we're going to go through all of the steps again. We're going to solve one of the equations for one of the variables. X plus y equals 50. We're going to solve for x. And we moved the y over to the other side to get x equals 50 minus y. And as I stated in the beginning of the video, it doesn't matter which variable you solve for, as long as you substitute it in appropriately. So now we're going to take that expression from step 1 and plug it into the other equation and solve for y. So we replace the x variable in the second equation with 50 minus y, as you see in pink, plus 1.5 times y equals 90. So because the 2 is hugging the parentheses there, that tells us we are going to distribute. When we distribute, we get 2 times 50 equals 100, and 2 times negative y equals negative 2y, plus 1.5, y equals 90. And we combined like terms and subtracted 100 on both sides, and we were left with negative half y equals negative 10, which is equal to 20. All right, now we're going to substitute that y value into one of the original equations and solve to get x. X plus y equals 50 is really simple to substitute in. So we take the 20 and substitute it in for y. X plus 20 equals 50. We're going to subtract 20 on both sides, and we get x equals 30. So our solution is 30/20. Therefore, we bought 30 turkey burgers because turkey burgers was x, and 20 veggie burgers because veggie burgers was y. Right? Make sure you copy down all the steps. Feel free to rewind the video if necessary or pause at any time. And if you have any questions, please let me know.